What is product messaging? Put simply, product messaging isn't your product copy, but rather the message your product is sending to your potential customers. Developing the right messaging requires a lot of research, and while there isn't one definitive format for doing so, we have a bunch of articles and resources that can guide you in the right direction. You can communicate with your audience through a multitude of different messaging techniques. Social media posts, website chatbots, advertising or marketing campaigns, podcasts and webinars, product design or layout, in-app notifications, CTAs or call to actions, and plenty more. So why is product messaging important? How people perceive your product is a direct result of messaging. The right messaging effectively communicates your product's value, giving prospects an understanding of how your product solves their specific problem. Your messaging will provide strategic guidance to PR teams, external marketing communications, content marketing, and your sales team. And when you're all speaking the same language, your messaging becomes more powerful and recognizable as it's consistently applied across all media. Good messaging will prove vital when crafting a market-nurturing campaign, and having a cohesive message you can apply throughout your content and communication will lay a solid foundation for lead conversion. Messaging versus positioning. You might be wondering, what is the difference between messaging and positioning? Positioning is the foundation which messaging is built upon, and determines the place a product sits within the market. This is important as it gives your customers the context of where your product fits into their view of the product landscape. Messaging is how you communicate the benefits of your product to your customers. The position sets the strategy, and the messaging brings your story to life. This allows your customers to understand more about your product.